I think my dad is a pedo. TW, child abuse and newts. My dad was 27 meters when he met my 17F mum and they got married when she turned 18. Him at 28. When I was 15F I would get this bad gut feeling around him, and the way he looked at me and stared, especially if he had been drinking, it would scare me. He had TikTok and I had seen him watch the videos of teens doing sexual dances like overly sexy stuff constantly and turn it off as soon as you walked in. Not just the regular stuff on TikTok. He was abusive and would bash the windows just because the chickens were on the pavement. My mum was manipulative and both would scream at me a lot for simple things like tightening a cap too tight or not getting out of the car when I was anxious. They made my anxiety so severe I would stay day and night in my room. I had food in my room and that's how I would live. I also have severe memory issues because of my disabilities, so they would gaslight me and deny things and get away with it. When I was 16 my dad got a camera for inside and he would hide it in a way that he could see into my room and the lounge room. I was used to being home with just my mum, so I wouldn't care about getting changed in the lounge room. That was until I saw the camera carefully hidden on the piano with tape over its light. Eventually I got sick of it and would take the wires out or turn it off and hide it in a drawer. He would always hide it more and more sneakily every time, so eventually I threw the unique cable in the bin. Then when I was 17 he got a new camera, this one he put facing my room and the bathroom. It was sitting in the laundry. I told him when I found it not to put it there because I run from the shower to my room often. Dude, he said okay, and that he wouldn't put it there. But he kept hiding it even more, covered and hidden in different places, all pointing to my room. I told him every time and each time he'd act like it was a game. He'd hide it in more hidden places and under things. After 4 months I found it again and finally lost it and went to my mother and told her he was filming me. I told her I felt violated and that he was purposefully doing it. She said she would look through his phone. It had internal storage that was accessible through Wi-Fi and would download to your phone. He develops software for the US government for a living. He knows how to hide stuff and is good at white hat hacking and such. He works mostly in security side of things, so he would know how to hide something like that. I trusted what she said and he told me he was sorry and I smashed the camera lens, but I was guilted into not destroying it because it costs money. They would often use money or even how they bought me clothes to guilt me and made me feel like a burden. My dad would go on about how other disabled people have jobs and how I'm lazy. I hid the batteries in one place and the camera in another, but when I came back to pick up my stuff and move out with my boyfriend, which they screamed at me for dating at 18 and not 21, and how I should have a job and how I'm making a mistake and girls who move in with their partners always divorce and how I'm a terrible daughter ect. I couldn't find the camera. I hid. I'm scared of him. I don't like him. He disgusts me. They came to visit and I let them because my mum insisted and went on about family being important. And he reaches out, grabs my ear, says how pretty my earring is and how much I've grown and my body has changed. In those fucking words my mum just nodded. I pulled back and it felt so gross. I hated so much that my mum would make me show off the dresses she bought me to him. It felt so gross. I feel gross. And I still feel gross, even after leaving. Something about the last visit a few days ago felt bad. This is my safe place, my home, and I let them in and now I feel disgusted. I told my sister about the cameras and she brushed it off. My brother said he didn't know what to say. I told my dad that I felt violated for it and he went on about how he was only putting the camera up to make sure no one broke in / security, and went on about how he'd never do it to film me. I honestly don't know what to believe, but he disgusts me. And as soon as we buy a house I'm going to go no contact. But I still have sleepless nights thinking about the videos on that camera and whether he's hid them and has access to them. I just really need advice about what to do. I don't know if I should go to the police or if I'm overreacting and maybe he really just was paranoid and put cameras for safety. I'm 19 now and I live with my BF who's super supportive and understands that it's taken me time to process all of the abuse. My siblings are older and moved out years before me. I live in Australia. Make sure he didn't put a camera in at your place when they came to visit. He sounds like a predator. For security and break-in purposes, my ass. Why would it be towards your room and the bathroom if that was really the case? Honestly, I would be creeped the hell out too. and be paranoid about cameras elsewhere. I'm not sure about the legality of things in Australia, but it'd be worth looking into, especially since you were underage when you were finding it pointing towards your room and such. And your mom definitely knew about it being sleazy and creepy. As women, as mothers, we can pick up on that shit. Can you report him to the police, saying he might have pornographic images of minors like you on his electronics? You might talk to a psychologist and a lawyer first just to be sure and to have more confidence. I'd about Australian law. I am absolutely devastated for you. You have been violated. You can guarantee he has the footage he was after. I live in Australia too. I also just reported someone for child porn. I called up Crime Stoppers, put on a fake accent because I was terrified, and told them all the info I had anonymously. I left it up to them if they wanted to investigate. I'm glad I did it for me. I lived with the secret for only a year and it destroyed me before I worked up the courage to do something. I can't believe this was your family and how long it went on for. I am so sorry that your family would rather live in denial about your abuse than rock the boat. It's pathetic and also something I had to deal with. It's incredibly degrading and invalidating. I'm heartbroken for you, but know it will get better in time. Do not feel afraid to refuse visits from your family. Your home is the one place you can and need control over. Your mom is an enabler and will likely ask why. As awkward as it might feel for you, you have every right to say your dad is inappropriate at best, and a sexual predator at worst. Stay strong. You did not do anything wrong, and I'm really proud of you for how tricky and smart you were finding the cameras and breaking them and hiding the cords. I'm glad you're out and it's time to focus on your happiness. Don't feel guilty if you choose to report, and don't feel guilty if you don't report. Virtual hugs. If you think he's still filming people illegally, there's usually an integrity team within our government organizations which investigate criminal activities reported about their staff. If you have any evidence of this stuff at all, you should collate it and present it to them. It won't take him long to misstep, and when that happens he could be charged. Happy to investigate on your behalf to find the right numbers to call. Edit, Grandma. You can also call anonymously and they will keep the details on file in case someone else comes forward. They're usually discreet. Take care of yourself, op. My 3 friends, 2x17F, 16F, filmed me while having sex with my boyfriend, 17M, 17M. Desperate for advice. My life went from amazing to fucked up, so please forgive any further use of harsh words. A week ago my BF and I went with 3 of our best friends out on the coast to have a weekend on the beach. Booked hotel rooms, wasn't cheap 'cause Corona, but still. The weather was perfect, it's like 30 kilometers from where I live, seemed amazing. Ever since me and my BF got together, 6 months ago, I've been having trouble finding and keeping friends, because people stopped assuming I'm straight and started judging me for looking good and being gay. You have no idea how many times I heard people say to me, shame, such a waste of genes, or asking me and my BF to kiss so they can film it for TikTok. Generally, I was blessed with a pretty face. I worked on my body, and because of it I struggled in my early teens to find love, since I gave myself too high of a criteria for how my boyfriend should look like. I was extremely lucky to find a guy that didn't just go over those imaginary standards of mine. I now can't think of life without him. Even his imperfections are perfect, and our relationship has been a dream come true for me. As I said, I had problems finding friends, and the only 3 real friends, or so I thought, were those 3 girls. One that I knew since childhood, and the other 2 she introduced us to. Generally, the friendship was a dream come true too, until yesterday that girl I've been friends for a long time sent me screenshots of their chat where they were sharing around some kind of a link. And that link was a file on Google Drive, a video of me and my boyfriend having sex last week, in our room, where we were staying on our trip together with them. What the fuck? I had to take some pills in order to keep myself together while talking to her on the phone. The bitches took a Bluetooth webcam and put it under the TV in our fucking room. How shitty of a person do you have to be to even think about doing something like that? I never thought that being a cute couple could bring such bullshit into your life. The main thing is we didn't just have sex. My BF has a foot fetish and is generally kinky, and we did way more than just in and out, because yeah, that's us, and nobody should know that but us, and thanks to them, that link sits in an Instagram group where they and some other girls hang out, and only God knows how many times those other people or they themselves sent it elsewhere. They could have even uploaded it to some I'm a pathetic bitch and watch gay porn site, for assholes like themselves to watch. The worst part is, that my friend, the you're a part of family friend who I know since I was 2, didn't try to stop them, and when I made her answer, even admitted to masturbating to the video. If it was just me in it, I'd tell each and every one of them what an ass they are, and wouldn't care even if the whole school was watching, because I know solitude damn well, and I don't mind being alone when everybody around me is a shit person. However, I'm in a relationship, in a perfect relationship that's going to get ripped apart if my boyfriend finds out about this, because he didn't know any of these people before I introduced him to them. He would have never ended up on a sex tape had it not been me, and his friends might do drugs, but they are good people for fuck's sake, and due to me, he's now got his record to worry about, for who knows what job employer might run into him and his loving boyfriend having sex. Sorry, no backstory, I'm stressed. Writing this might be a mistake, but I haven't got anything to lose. I can't tell anybody, I can't ask anyone for advice. So if you can share some advice, please do. Hey, you can pursue legal action. This is distribution and production of child pornography and is very illegal. I would definitely speak to a lawyer to see what your options are. First up, they're not your friends. I can't even begin to express how disgusting their attitudes and behavior are. Press some charges. That shit is criminal. I'm sorry dear, those girls are awful and not your friends. What they did was completely illegal, and you should 100% pursue legal action. Not only was it illegal to record you, but it is distributing CP because they posted it online. Neither you or your BF deserved it. Please tell a trusted adult and get help to get the video taken down. If my significant other knew that an illegal tape of me having sex existed and did not tell me, that would be the biggest betrayal. You may not care if someone jerks off to you, but how does he feel? I would be furious if I was not given agency. I want to have control over me, my decisions, my images. Definitely criminal, both in the literal sense of the word and morally. Please screenshot everything you can, including any admissions of guilt or knowledge, and press charges. It may be very uncomfortable and seem daunting, but then your BF should be able to see you have his back and trying to look out for and take care of him. My boyfriend was trans and never told me. I took my boyfriend to meet my family one day and it was all going really well. They were all getting on great. My sister really liked him and said he was funny, and my brother knew him before and they get on great. It was when we were eating dinner that my grandma recognized him. She didn't say anything though. After he left, I went back to my mum's for a while, and after everyone had left she asked me to stay a little bit longer because she wanted to talk to me. I sat down and she said there was something about my boyfriend that I needed to know, but she didn't know whether he had told me or not. I was really scared because I thought it was going to be something really bad, like he went to prison for domestic abuse or something, but it wasn't. She told me that before I met him he wanted to be a girl and was going to London for hormone treatment. His mum put it all over social media about his transition after he told her not to. When my mum told me, it was a big relief that it was nothing bad. After he started getting hormone treatment, he soon changed his mind and said that he doesn't want to be a girl anymore, which I'm glad about, because if he didn't I wouldn't be his girlfriend as I'm straight. My mum said she didn't want me to see him any differently because of his past, and I don't really care that he was trans before I even met him. I will always love him no matter his past, unless I found out he was a pedophile or something like that. The thing that hurt me a little, and the reason I'm making this post, is why didn't he tell me? Because we were best friends before we started dating and he knows knows everything about me and my past. I don't know whether it's something he's trying to forget. I think he was doing it for the wrong reasons. He has a sister and he told me himself he feels like his sister is the favorite child, so maybe that's the reason he wanted to be a girl, to maybe his parents might like him more. Now he is very different to how he was before. I would have never have thought in my life that he would be trans because he is the most masculine boy I have ever met. He is 6 feet 4 inches, constantly at the gym and always fighting. After finding out about his past, I feel like he's very masculine to prove he is a man. I don't care that he was trans, I genuinely don't, but I'm just a little upset that he didn't tell me. I don't know what to think really.